Hi, I'm Naughty with Stand Up in Humboldt. Today we're going to be covering national queer news from a Humboldt point of view.
So today we're here with Naughty.
Yes.
Excellent, excellent. Tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do.
I'm Naughty. I've lived in Humboldt County for about 12 years now. I work for Humboldt Pride and help putting on the parade and festivals and
Excellent.
other events.
Are you a board member?
I am a board member.
Excellent. Do you hold a position or are you just a member?
Chairperson.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah. So you're the one in charge.
Yeah, I get to boss everybody around.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Keep going.
Let's see, what else do I do? I volunteered for the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence off and on throughout the years, and that's really great. I also do the kinetic sculpture race, which is coming up real soon. And then I do sexual education. I teach BDSM workshops.
Excellent,
and I
excellent.
host Fetish Night once a month here in town too.
Oh, nice. Tell us a little bit about that. I've never really heard about that.
So Fetish Night we host on the third Friday of every month at Siren Song Tavern. I bring in dungeon equipment and I bring in staff spankers. And so you can come down and experience different toys that we have there, or talk with people about kink and ask questions. And I'm just there to kind of educate people and remove the stigma around it and bring it out into the public forum so that people can see it.
Excellent, excellent. I'm glad you had a chance to introduce that. I hadn't heard about that before, and so I'm glad now that all of our viewers will have a chance to know about that. And hopefully we'll see some, was that the third Friday?
Third Friday of every month.
Third Friday of the month. When does it start?
We've been doing it for like 6-8 months now.
Time at night.
It starts at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock, okay.
Yeah.
8 o'clock, third Friday, Siren Song Tavern,
Yeah.
just so you know.
Yeah.
Excellent. And so today we're here to talk about a little bit about some of the news coverage that we've been getting,
Yes.
insofar as the more discriminatory laws are coming to play.
Wow.
Where are we starting?
Indiana is a good place to start, I guess.
Excellent, excellent.
So yeah, there's kind of a lot going on out there. I've been in communication with one of our sisters out there, Sister Novagra. Hi, sister. She's been out there protesting and rallying and working very hard to help bring awareness to the situation that's going on in Indiana.
Excellent, excellent. Tell us a little more about what that situation is. So we know that there's discriminatory laws, but how far is it actually going? What are folks actually protesting? Because laws aren't always enforced.
So the religious freedom law came into effect, which is a law that a lot of states have. And through this law, it just kind of gives everybody the ability to kind of honor their religious beliefs and say, hey, I want to grow my beard long and please don't discriminate against me because I want a long beard, you know, and maybe other things. Maybe it covers facial tattoos or whatever. It just gives people the ability to honor their religion however they need in any environment necessary.
Publicly.
Publicly.
Okay.
Right. The problem is that there's all this group of people that believe that through their religion they have the right to discriminate against the LGBT community.
Okay.
Because my God says that that's not okay, you know, and unfortunately the LGBT community is not considered a protected class, so they can be discriminated against in a lot of areas. They are covered through a work environment. That you can't be discriminated against through work, but there's a lot of other environments that is opening them up to discrimination, and the Christians can use the religion as the reason why I don't want to bake you a cake, I don't want to fix your car, I don't want to, you know, whatever the case may be. And so it would be really nice if Indiana would get together and finally pass a law that says we can't discriminate against the LGBT community in any area, in church, in the medical fields, you know. So I'm hoping that some changes are going to come. The last word is that they were going to write some clarification of the religious freedom law.
Okay.
And I believe that that's in the works, but, you know, the government takes time.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, we have a bunch of people that are now openly discriminating against people and making it very publicly known.
Right, right. And I mean, and I guess I kind of have a hard time because I'm native Californian, born and raised California. I don't know what it's like to go live somewhere else. And I know that in California, there's usually a sign. Just about anywhere I go to spend money, there's usually a sign that says, like, you know, the owner of this establishment can refuse service to anyone or something like that.
Right.
So how is this actually taking that a step further? And please help me understand, because my California brain's having a hard time.
Well, people are actually openly getting on the internet and on television shows and saying, I won't help gay people. You know, I won't serve them pizza. I won't fix their car. You know, and
so this is much farther than just, oh, hey, I don't really like you, we're out of your kind of beer when they show up at the bar.
Right. This is not, you're not wearing shoes and a shirt, and so we're not going to service you. This is not, you're drunk and belligerent, so we're asking you to leave our establishment.
Okay.
You know, which are all kind of, you know, if safety is an issue, then of course you have the right to refuse service to somebody, you know.
Oh, sure.
And stuff like that. But no, they're just blatantly discriminating against people because of the lifestyle that they've chosen.
Excellent. Well, not excellent, but thank you so much for clarifying, because sometimes that can be hard to really understand.
Right.
Yeah, so has there, I mean, you mentioned that coming out of this, you know, they were writing some more clarifying stuff. Well, what's happening in the meantime? You know, like, so folks have come out and said these things. I mean, have their businesses been affected? I mean, are we seeing closures?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. There's, it's been an interesting timeline. What happened was, people came out and said, I refuse to service gays, or LGBT, and people got mad and they got a lot of hate mail, they got a lot of phone calls, they felt that they were then unsafe and decided to close their businesses down.
Excellent.
And then after they went ahead and shut their doors, these people started popping up these GoFundMe accounts.
Yeah, let's talk about that. What is
that, right? So, yeah, it's this thing of like, I discriminate against people, and now people are mad, and so I've had to close my business, and you should take pity on me. You know, and the amount of money that was raised was just, like, amazing. It was, I think, a sum of over $600,000 for one particular business that had to close their doors. Like, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And
like a lifetime's worth of money.
Right, and it kind of hurts my heart that so many people are willing to throw money at that. Think of how many children could be fed, you know, or our homeless population, or, you know, educating people maybe on LGBT stuff. Right. I mean, I could think of a lot of better ways to spend that kind of money.
Oh, yeah.
And so this pizza company did it, and they made a ton of money, and it started to spread like wildfires, you know, and pretty soon other businesses are, I've had to close my doors, I'm going to start a GoFundMe account. Well, the other day I came across an article that says GoFundMe is shutting them down. And so GoFundMe has turned and pulled all of these fundraisers that people have been doing because they say it's not fair. You don't get to break the law and then have a penalty for that, and therefore then get to raise money for it. You know, that it's not, I mean, as far as GoFundMe was concerned, it sounded like they didn't believe that, you know, they felt that discrimination was wrong, and that it really didn't honor the reason why GoFundMe was started anyways, which was to help the needy and the less fortunate, and help people for a good cause. Yeah. And I don't know if raising $600,000 for discrimination is really a good cause.
No, like classes in school, I've seen a lot on GoFundMe.
Yeah, memorial services are out there and stuff like that, and the sisters in Indiana have started one. A couple of different ones that they're doing.
But those are okay. So
yeah, they're a non-profit organization that's raising for a good cause.
But GoFundMe is so it's kind of a weird spot then for the fundraising company, because on the one hand they're saying you're not appropriate, and then they're also saying but you are on the other side of the coin.
Right. Yeah. I'm not quite sure who reviews them on a case-by-case situation. My guess is GoFundMe probably got a lot of flack for supporting this. And so that was the decision, that they were just going to, you know, shut people down that were trying to raise money.
Well, sure. I mean, if you're not an individual person or a 501c3, it seems like you should make your own money.
Right. And a lot of people do GoFundMes for startup, for businesses and stuff like that. But I think really the thing is
closed.
Well,
for being a jerk.
Right. Exactly. Like, you don't get to be bad and then get good things given to you. But
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just crazy the amount of money that's kind of flying around about it and stuff like that.
It just kind of makes me wonder or question the support that these kinds of things actually have. I mean, you know, not everybody's gonna, you know, grab a sign or even a buddy and go out on the weekend, but when they see it come across in their social media, of course they're gonna give $5 because isn't it all in the name of whatever?
Right. Right. And you can do it anonymously too, so you're not putting yourself out there. You can donate to GoFundMe anonymously, and so you could, you know, just secretly have this hatred towards somebody and slip them a couple $1,000s
and then just take care of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's nice that there's no more fundraising, at least in that respect.
Right.
You know, at least let them go somewhere else besides the internet. Darn it, leave social media for the good guys.
Right. Well, social media it's a good way to you know, spread information. I mean, otherwise a lot of us wouldn't know what's going on in Indiana. And then when you get caught up in the media, of course, the media is a, you know, biased perception anyways.
Sure.
You know, so social media gives us the power to hear people's stories. And so it's been great as I'm following along some of the people that are out there rallying and hearing their voice, which they're on the streets, in the rally, talking about what's really going on, instead of some film crew that's taking some pictures that's going to be edited and, you know,
put together with somebody else's idea. Yeah,
and made to be maybe something bigger than what it actually is, or skew it in a way, you know, because really media, a lot of it is so much just trying to convince you to agree with me. You know, that's what Fox News does, is we want you to agree with us, and so we're going to twist the story until, you know, it sounds good, right? So, yeah, it's unfortunate, but I'm happy that we have social media that kind of gives us the inside story, the real truth, and not something that's been edited out and censored.
Excellent. Have you heard many stories of, you know, or have you read actually or seen or anything, folks who, you know, have been affected by other business?
So major corporations are taking a huge stance.
Excellent. Yeah.
It's been kind of interesting. There's most people are familiar with Craigslist.
Right.
There's another one out there called Angie's List.
Angie's List with the moms and the plumbers, that kind of list.
Right. And I guess they were set to kind of do like a huge expansion over there and expand over there, and they kind of said, we're going to put that on hold, I think, for a little bit until y'all figure out what it is that you're doing. You know, and because they don't, a lot of people have gotten on the bandwagon of not supporting what Indiana has to say under this Religious Freedom Act. You know, that corporations are stepping up and saying, this is not what we want. There's a part of me that's like really excited about what's going on over there, and I think it's really super positive in a way, because I think for the first time, the queer community is really seeing a support from places we've never seen it before. You know, where we have other states, like Washington said, we're not traveling to Indiana. We're not going to be giving Indiana any of our money until they figure it out, you know. And then, you know, you have corporations like Apple and stuff like that that are all kind of getting on the bandwagon and going, wait a minute, you know. Like, no, we're not going to contribute to this and stuff. So for, I think our community, it's kind of a huge empowerment of like, you know, for so long we felt like we're the minority with such a small voice and not really being heard anymore, you know, and we've kind of been beaten down and you know, thrown in the streets and stuff like that. And we all know that the one with the most money has the loudest voice and gets the most face time. So now that we have these big corporations on our team, I think we've kind of beefed up our game a little bit, you know, and now it's kind of like, I kind of feel like they're defending us, like, you know, we're being bullied, we're being picked on, and the big guys are coming to our rescue for once. So for me, I think that this has been a really positive thing. You know, the rallies so far have all been very peaceful. There hasn't been any incidences. I did read about a gentleman who had a mechanic shop who said that he refused to service gays, and his shop was vandalized for making those comments, and that the police came out and took a police report and told him to call his insurance company. But one of the corporation logos that he uses on his building for Cummins Diesel called him and said, you can't use our logo anymore.
Ooh.
You need to stop.
Nice.
This is not what our company represents, and
Nice.
you represent us, and so you can't use our logo anymore. So that's like
Excellent.
huge,
That is, yeah. I mean,
That-
just from a newscast somewhere,
Right.
got so much publicity. I mean, local news, I'm sure.
right, right.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Kind of, it kind of draws similarities to Twitter for the young kids. You know, you just kind of take to Twitter and just make sure you hashtag the right person, or at the right person, and you actually address the company. Well, now the company's addressing you, and you didn't even have to do anything.
Right, right.
That's great.
Yeah, so yeah, I think it's kind of cool that the companies are really stepping up and standing up and
Yeah.
saying, we don't treat our people like this, and we don't think people need to be treated like this.
That's great.
And sometimes I think we feel powerless in what we can do, and stuff like that. So those corporations with money, money's kind of power. Unfortunately, it really is.
We made it
so
that way.
yeah, so it's kind of nice that they're using their power for good and not evil, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely,
So-
absolutely, fantastic,
Yeah.
fantastic. Do you have any? You mentioned Sister Novagra.
Yes.
Does she have personal stories, or are there stories that she has given you, or that you've been able to kind of scam personally from folks that have been like personally affected? Not necessarily, big news kinds of things, but maybe someone who had a discriminatory experience, but then was able to like do something on their own with their own group of protesting friends?
No, it seems like right now that people are really just rallying together in large quantities, and like I said, I think
Excellent.
most of it's been peaceful, and I think that what little bit has happened has kind of been more that people are just, making their opinions known, and it doesn't, so far, no violence. Like I said,
Excellent.
I haven't read any violent stories, which is
Great.
good. There could be some out there that maybe aren't getting media coverage, or I haven't come across yet. So I don't know. What smaller groups are doing is probably just working within local communities, because throughout counties have the right to kind of have their own set of rules, and a lot of county councils are getting together and saying, our county or city is not quite in alignment with the state, and this is what we believe in writing proclamations.
Fantastic.
So that's good that, just because, the big brother wants it one way, it's kind of interesting. Not everybody in Indiana is in alignment with that. So,
Excellent.
and it's really hard to say, what the outcome of this is really going to be. My guess is unfortunately, of course, it's kind of dying out in our media coverage, and we're not hearing about it as much as we used to, which is what happens with a lot of stuff. I think that there's probably a thought that, well, they said they were going to fix it, so,
Yeah.
and then it's what are we going to do if it doesn't get fixed? I guess really is the next step of like, let's
Right.
hope that, we're just out educating people. And the cool thing is having this big rally of all of these rainbows and colors out there, it really gives people an opportunity to see us. Because I think people have stereotyped us, or they have beliefs about us, or, whatever that may be. I think there's still some religious groups that are fighting in Indiana to put up some major billboards that are talking where people still believe that, being LGBT is a choice. And because you choose to be that way, then why do I have to choose to service you or bake a cake for you or
Right.
anything like that. I came across a video the other day of an online TV evangelist
Ooh.
called up a bakery shop and said, hey, I want you to bake me a cake. And I said, okay, size, dimension, flavors, all right. And by the way, I want you to put on there that I am anti-gay. The bakery shop is like, no, I'm not gonna do that, And so then he kind of got on his little high horse and said, oh, how dare you discriminate against me, and it was like, I don't think that people who call and normally have a cake made, it usually says happy birthday or congratulations, and I think that people have the right to say, no, I'm not gonna write hatred on a cake, by all means, take your cake home and write it yourself if that's what you need on it.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't think it's quite the same as calling and ordering a wedding cake and asking for, you know, 2 gentleman toppers on the top. Right. And all over it, you know, no one's writing anything on it or hate or anything like that. So it is kind of interesting of like, you know, where is the line? Well, I have the right to say I don't want to, you know, do business, you know, at this establishment. Someone said that they should start making like restaurants serve certain foods. Then, you know, like if a restaurant's kosher, well, maybe they should have to start serving pork because they're discriminating against me and I want pork. And it's like, well, you know, you don't go to the pizza parlor and order Thai food because they don't serve Thai food. I'm not discriminating against you. This is what's on my menu. You have to take something off of the menu. And if you make cakes, you make cakes. You make cakes for everybody.
Right.
You know, you don't get to pick and choose who you make a cake for. That's what's on the menu, and everybody should have the right to order it, regardless.
Right.
So I hope that, I think that the awareness and the media coverage has really been a positive thing.
Excellent.
And I really think that the GoFundMe has been a very strong position, and some of the corporations that are coming down with very strong positions, I think is starting to set a precedence for what we will see happen maybe in other states, and maybe even with gay marriage finally becoming legal in all states and stuff like that.
Wasn't that just recently argued in
It was.
Supreme Court? It's the next incarnation of the marriage fight, right?
Right. I haven't done a lot of reading up on that one yet, so I'm kind of interested. There was telecasts and live news feeds that anybody can track down on the internet and listen to. I've caught little tidbits of different arguments, and some of the arguments against gay marriage is just so irrational. I kind of can't wrap my brain around it. You know, that they're comparing gay marriage to abortions, that for every gay couple that gets married, that's like the equivalent of 1,000 abortions. Because if you married a heterosexual couple, 1,000 children would be born, therefore, you know. I mean, it's just kind of crazy. Like, sometimes I hear them and I wonder who ties their shoes in the morning, really. You know? Like, where do you come up with this stuff? It's just completely out of left field. Like, it's not even, there's no scientific or any logic behind it whatsoever. So, it just scares me that people with that mindset are in powerful positions.
Fear's a powerful motivator, you know, and fear can bring on those irrational things.
Right.
Yeah, and what a bummer. What a bummer for the rest of us.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. If everybody would just come out to a Pride Festival, they'd see how much fun we all are.
Or just to experience and not turn into a pillar of salt would be nice.
Right.
Don't you think?
Right.
So let's bring it home. Where are we going from here? What's next?
Well, let's talk about some things that we can do as individuals to kind of maybe help the situation.
Yeah.
I'm not in Indiana and I can't rally there.
Right.
So I'm here trying to bring awareness to people, and we do things by hosting all kinds of events. So we do a lot of queer events throughout the month. We have Club Triangle that goes on once a month, which is a great safe place for people to come out. And
so earlier we talked about the third Friday of the month being Fetish Night. So Club Triangle is also one day a month.
Right, fourth Friday.
Fourth Friday. Okay, so we're filling up the Friday night. So the third Friday is Fetish Night at Siren Song Tavern. Club Triangle is fourth Friday.
Yes.
At
9 o'clock.
Where?
Jambalaya.
Jambalaya.
In Arcata.
Okay, and it's always a Jambalaya in Arcata, or
Yes.
does it move around?
Nope, it's always there.
Always a Jambalaya.
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent.
$5 cover charge. All the proceeds are going to go back to Humboldt Pride.
Awesome.
We do drag shows with our local drag performers. And then we have a rotating set of DJs that come out and play great music. And there's visual effects going on. And so it's a great place to come out and be with your community and hang out with your people and meet new people and kind of feel empowered behind that. And then we also have Humboldt Pride Festival and Parade, which doesn't happen until September.
Right.
But we're working really hard to fundraise for that now. We just did an amazing pancake breakfast.
Oh, awesome. I missed that. I wanted to go. I was
You
busy
should
that
have came.
Saturday
It was like
morning.
really amazing. And again, we had drag performers, and then we had Caravan of Glam, which is an amazing drag troupe out of Portland, Oregon.
Cool.
They're kind of a burlesque, cabaret, fantastical, just fabulous group that comes down.
I've seen the posters.
They're great. We try to get them down here about every other month, and they come down and do performances, and then part of that goes back to Humboldt Pride too.
That's really cool.
So it's kind of great that we have people coming from out of the area to help support our community here. This year, Humboldt Pride every year picks a theme, and this year we've picked the theme of We Are Queer History, because we want to take a look at the history and all of these amazing things that have happened to bring us where we are today. And we all know that we are not where we are today, where we want to be. We want to be farther ahead, but man, we've come a really long ways. You know, and I think that maybe sometimes people have forgotten, you know, all of the battles and wars and stuff that have kind of gone on to get us here. I mean, it was not very long ago that we were struggling to legalize gay marriage, and now more than half the states it's legal in, you know what I mean? So if that's not a huge picture of like the changes that are happening, and maybe not as fast as everybody wants it to be, but it's happening, and we need to honor that. We need to talk about, you know, Harvey Milk, and we need to talk about Stonewall, and we need to talk about the things that happened that brought us to where we are today. And I think it's important that we don't forget our history and those who have died fighting for our cause and stuff like that. So we're going to be celebrating with Humboldt Pride our queer history, and talking about, you know, people all throughout history that have done amazing things in many different ways, whether that's being an ally and just supporting us, or, you know, being the protester, or taking a stand and defending us, you know. So I think it's important that we, despite all of the struggles and hardships that we hear about going on in the community, we need to celebrate all of those things too that we've accomplished and how far we've come. So
Excellent. And when can our community enjoy Humboldt Pride this year?
It's September 12th.
September 12th.
Yes.
Excellent.
So it's always in September. Next month is actually the official Pride Month, and so you'll be seeing lots of Pride events going on. News feeds will start filling up. San Francisco Pride, and Indiana's having a Pride, and so you'll hear about a lot of marches and parades and stuff like that going on during Pride Month in the month of June, which is great. It's kind of awesome that on the tail end of what's going on Indiana, we're getting ready to do the biggest gay month celebration ever. Like, you know, it's always fun to see people come out in force and come out in numbers, and, you know, we're here and we're queer, so, you know, it's good that we come out and celebrate that.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I know I'm definitely looking forward to Pride. Hopefully I'll get to participate as a vendor again this year. Yay! And yeah, that'll be fantastic. And I'm really looking forward to what else, what more is going to develop from this Stand Up in Humboldt venture.
Right.
Seems like a fantastic first episode we've had here with Naughty, who's the chairperson for Humboldt Pride, and also seems like a local queer enthusiast in all those different things that you do.
Yeah, I kind of got my finger in almost every pie.
Yeah,
so
really.
stay busy. So.
Excellent. So we're definitely looking forward to seeing more what's coming from you, more what's coming from Humboldt Pride. I'm Ellen, and I sure have had a blast today on the first episode of Stand Up in Humboldt, your Humboldt view on national queer news. Thanks for watching.